Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Michael. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Michael Fletcher, and welcome to this new edition of the Rangers Roundup. As we are gonna recap Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals that went down last night, and then a preview of Game 3. I'm alongside. Wow, game we got to talk about from last night. Most definitely. Um, there's a lot that we got to get into, especially the controversies. Two controversial calls going against the New York Rangers. There's a big elephant in the room about that. One was a goalie interference call. It looked like it was, did not go that way. They gave the goal to LA, and then in the second overtime, I guess we can say it was an apparent delay of game, but the referees missed that call. LA benefits, and now they're up 2-0. Well, before we get into it, let's get right into, I guess, the game itself, and let's talk about it last night, and let's get into the game recap for you fine fans. And, well, let's do it. So what happened here is it started out basically with the New York Rangers getting the first goal. Ryan McDonagh gets the goal, assist by Dominic Moore that gave New York a 1-0 lead. Then New York gets a 2-0 lead as Matt Zuccarello gets the goal, assisted by Ryan McDonagh and Derek Brassard. And at the end of the first period, it was 2-0 New York. So, Anthony, just give me your quick thoughts about the first period.
Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer here with you for this Rangers Roundup here, and we do apologize for the lateness. Of course, last night had a little family get-together last night, a big one. So, anyways, yes, Rangers came out unbelievably in game one. I mean, in game two in the first period. I mean, I didn't get to see the game live. I mean, I recorded it, I watched it back, and yeah, I mean, Zuccarello and McDonagh. I mean, McDonagh with a great shot on goal, a beautiful shot that went in. And then Zuccarello, on the side of the net, gets one in there. And that's what the Rangers had to do. They had to go up. They had to get that sense of urgency going. They needed to, get out to that hot start. We talked about it after game one. And yes, I mean, fantastic start for the New York Rangers. I mean, they were definitely the aggressors in that first period. There was no doubt about that. And that's exactly what they had to do. So, great start for them. But the game moves, as we found out going forward, was not the case. So, with that said, let's just move on. But
We will move on. It goes right into the second period, and then this is where basically the chaos broke out. The first thing that happened was Jared Stahl gets a goal, assisted by Justin Williams and Dustin King. That made it 2-1. New York Rangers gets a goal. Martin St. Louis gets his 7th of the playoffs, assisted by Derek Stepan and Chris Kreider. That one was at 11:24. That made it 3-1 New York. Then the controversial call. This one was a power play goal given by Willie Mitchell, assisted by Selena Vaino and Justin Williams. All right, let's set it up. Here's what happened. Basically what happened in this situation was this the controversial goal? Or was it the one that was later on?
that was not the controversial goal.
All right, so this is not controversial. All right, it's in the third. Okay, so basically it was a goal. That is fine. Willie Mitchell gets the goal. Then, right behind that, Derek Brassard gets a goal, making it 4-2. Anthony, why don't you go into that period?
Yes, second period definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Rangers definitely looked great in that second period. Okay, he's on the phone. All right, so I'll have to do the rest of the recap. So
I got it.
Okay. Let me get in here real quick. As we go into it, but what Fletch was trying to say was that the Rangers definitely came out the aggressors in that second period. There was no question about it. Let me look it up. Bear with me for one
Hmm.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here we go. I mean, it was a crazy second period, obviously. No doubt about it. Um, okay, here we go. Jarrett Stoll started the scoring. It was 2-1, and then San Luis with a goal made it 3-1, and then Mitchell cut it to 3-2, and then Derek Brassard off a net bounce scramble. Gee, where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, 2010 Winter Olympics, the gold medal game between Team USA and Canada. I mean, unbelievable to say the very least. I mean, I never thought I'd see a net bounce scramble in an NHL game, but still, it happened. And it was 4-2 New York Rangers after the second period, and all I can say is that definitely the Rangers came out the aggressors here once again. I mean, LA got on the board. That was to be expected. I mean, they're too good to be shut out. We all know that. Um, but yes, the Rangers definitely jumped out in the second period. I have no doubts about that. And now Fletch is back in after he was interrupted. But I think I know who it was. But we'll leave this individual nameless, although he is a good friend of ours, of both of us. But anyways, let me just say it like this. What I want to get into is the fourth goal that the Rangers scored, the Brassard goal. That was this. I don't know if I think Fletch might have noticed. Net bounce scramble. It was a net bounce scramble on the Brassard goal. You saw that. I mean, LA was in the process of a line change, and then they get the net bounce
And
scramble. What was that, Fletch?
well, the thing is that also a part of that goal, and let's be realistic here. It wasn't. Yes, it was a net bounce scramble, and we'll talk about that in the whole 9 yards. But it was also a mismanagement, a major misfire by Jonathan Quick. Jonathan Quick made that error happen. And basically, he wanted to clear the zone, did not, made a bad play, and it burned LA. And that's why New York got that goal right back. And they needed to get that back because of the fact that you could tell that LA was going to get the momentum, because once they got down to 3-2, you're thinking, uh-oh, here we go. They're going to get the momentum. But for Derek Brassard to get that goal 11 seconds later, a lot of fans were thinking, that's the death nail. That's it. You're thinking game two's in the back for New York. Let's get into the third. Now we got some controversy. All right. What happened in this situation was this. The 4-3 goal is the most controversial one. A buck 58 in. Basically, what happened was Dwight King gets the credit for the goal. Matt Green and Justin Williams gets the assist. However, everybody was yelling goalie interference, and even Pierre Maguire and Mike Milbury both said that goal should not have been allowed. That goal should have been taken off the board, and if anything, it should have been goalie interference, a 2-minute penalty, and the referees blew it. Blew the call. Absolutely no doubt about it. I was jumping angry and hopping mad with that. And then Marian Gaborik gets a goal unassisted because of a bad play. And next thing we know, it's 4-4 and we're all tied up. So, I mean, what is there to say? Anthony, let's get into it. Let's talk about that controversial goal first. You got to see it. What was your thoughts about it?
Goalie interference. What else do I have to say? I mean, they impeded Henrik Lundqvist's progress. That's exactly what they did. They kept him from doing his job, and it wasn't Mike Miller. It was Eddie Olczyk. Eddie Olczyk was the one, along with what's his name, Pierre Maguire. Olczyk and Maguire were the ones who were saying, yes, it was a goalie interference on the part of Justin Williams. He was the one who impeded Henrik Lundqvist's progress, and it just goes to show you that Gary Bettman and the referees are some of the most corrupt and crooked individuals in the sport today. I mean, I don't know. Is it just me, or have they lately been, or last night, were they drinking the Kool-Aid of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon? Obviously, that's exactly what I think it was. I mean, they consider themselves the quote-unquote authority. Well, let me just say it like this. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I could go as far as to, what I did in my little rant last night. I had a little rant last night. I posted on the Facebook for all the world to see, and yes, and this goes into our hard times files. I mean, yesterday was a day of hard times. I mean, not just because of that, but also in the sport of horse racing, which I prefer not to get into. But you already know what that's all about. But all I can say is this. I mean, it's almost like Gary. I mean, it's like in the NBA. Who when David Stern was running things, who did he want as his champions? Hello, Miami Heat. Hello. Why? 3 little words. Best for business. No. I don't believe in best for business, okay? I'll tell you that right now. So, but allowing that goal, you literally let them get away with murder here. I mean, what is it about that Staples Center, huh? I mean, we saw it last year at SummerSlam with Daniel Bryan when he got screwed, and the whole Money in the Bank cash in Lord and the whole authority thing really came front and center. That was the real life right there. I mean, that was a screw job and a half, if I'm being quite honest with you. So, I really don't know what else there is to say on that. That goal should not have counted. Absolute malarkey on that. And for Gary Bettman and those crooked refs to even allow that without even reviewing it, shame on you. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves, literally. Because let me tell you something. Tomorrow night, well, may God have mercy on your souls, because you're going to have a lot of angry New York Ranger fans to deal with. About what, 20,000 or so in Madison Square Garden? I'll get more into that in a little bit. As well as an angry and pissed off Ranger Nation. That includes myself, this guy, Michael Fletcher, and of course our good friend Eric Peterson. So, oh yeah. Needless to say, I'm very upset about the call last night, and Derek Ferrera did a funny meme illustrating my little rant. I'll get into that in just a little bit. I'll show you all that in a little bit, but all I know is horrific call. That goal should not have counted. And if there's one thing that I hate in sports most of all, and Michael Fletcher, you know this, I've preached about this for many years now. You know where I'm going with this. The one thing I hate in sports more than anything is when the referees determine the outcome of the game. Literally. And that's exactly what happened. Those refs determined the outcome of the game. It favored the LA Kings. I know a lot of people saying, oh, you're being whiny to the Ranger fans. No. Well, we are upset, yes, but for a game to end the way it did, to have that controversy go down the way it did, no. I cannot get behind it. So with that said, there's only one thing I have left to say, and that is no. Great third period, though. Credit Marion Gabbert, the old friend. That was a goal. Honestly. But all I know is it was a 5-star classic of a game, but it was marred by controversy. And that controversy, yeah. But needless to say, Derek Ferrera made a great point. I'm going to get into Derek Ferrera's point as soon as we get to the end game here. But for right now, horrific call. Refs, you should be ashamed of yourselves. So Gary Bettman and your crooked referees, take your best for business and shove them where the sun don't shine, big boy. Let's move on.
And then we go into the overtime. No scoring in the first overtime. So, you know what? It wasn't enough for one. We got to play 2. And then another controversial decision gets called in the second overtime. And this one, basically, well, let's set the play up. Basically, it was a puck down in the King zone. They try to clear it, and it goes over the wall. It goes over the glass, and basically you're thinking, all right, so it goes over the glass. Instantly, the Rangers are saying, yo, wait a minute, that's a delay of the game. It never cleared the blue line. Referees come out and says, no, it hit the it hit the glass and then ricocheted up and over, so no penalty, no bad decision. They showed the replay. That never hit glass. That was clear over. That should have been a penalty, a delay of game call, and even Pierre Maguire was flipping out and said that the referees missed that call. So whatever the case may be, we play on, and the next face-off, Willie Mitchell to Kopitar to Andres Brown to Dustin Brown on a tip-in, game over. The Kings win game 2 by the final score of 5-4. They take the 2-0 lead in the series. Anthony, let's get into this one.
Another horrible call going against the Rangers, and surprise, surprise, Bettman and his crooked refs at it again. I mean, they're like, no, don't screw him once, screw him twice. I mean, because we want the Los Angeles Kings to win the Stanley Cup. That's all there is to it. Why? Because they're best for business. Give me a break. They're not best for business. I mean, they're a great team. Don't get me wrong. I have no disrespect whatsoever. They're a damn good team. I will give them that. But to win a game like that, the Gorilla Monsoon, give me a break. I mean, the Rangers got more than the loser's end of the purse. Oh, they're now down 0-2. But here's a good point. Derek Ferrera, our colleague, the grand poobah of Strictly Sports and the Wrestling Forum, if you will. He made a great point. His team, the Boston Bruins, is the Michael Bullock's team, the Boston Bruins, 3 years ago. What happened? They played 2 games in Vancouver. What happened? They lost them both in heartbreaking fashion. Am I not correct? And then what did they do? Scene shifted to their house. They won the next 2. We got a series again. Yeah, Vancouver stole Game 5, again in heartbreaking fashion. But then in Game 6 and 7, what did the Bruins do? They holiday hammed the Vancouver Canucks, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. So all is not lost yet, Ranger Nation. All isn't lost yet. We still believe. I still believe. Fletch still believes. Eric Peterson still believes. And I'm just going to say it like this. I just sent a tweet to their Twitter handle just literally a few moments ago. And I'm going to read that tweet that I sent to them right now. I tweeted to the team. Starting tomorrow night in Game 3, play every game like it's a Game 7. Because every game going forward will literally be a Game 7. That's all I can say about that. So play like it's a Game 7, right? Play like it's a Game 7 starting tomorrow night and going forward. And now to the Mimi that Derek Ferrera he did last night, echoing my feelings. Here you go. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times is when the sport of horse racing now has to wait yet another year for a Triple Crown winner. Hard times is when the New York Rangers got screwed not once, but twice in the same game, and are now down 2-0 to the quote-unquote faces of the NHL Los Angeles Kings. That's hard times. That's hard times. And I believe that strongly. All I can say is this. I mean, like I said before, I don't have a beef with the LA Kings. I don't. I know deep down Fletch doesn't either, because they're a damn good team, and they deserve to be where they are right now. The way they got here, winning 3 Game 7s on the road against the 3 best teams in the Western Conference in San Jose, Anaheim, and the defending Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks. They deserve to be here, no doubt about it. The only reason why we're this upset right now is because this series at least, should be 1-1. At least. I was willing to let Game 1 go. I let that one slide. I cannot let this one slide. No, I can't. I mean, crooked officiating by those referees. And I'm hoping, and I know this is a big if, by the way, and I know I'm probably asking too much here, but I'm hoping that Gary Bettman and the suits in Toronto, Canada, they better take a good long look at those 2 controversial calls that went against the New York Rangers. I strongly suggest you do. Because if you don't, well, you know what's going to happen. Come tomorrow night, you're going to have 20,000 pissed off Ranger fans to deal with in Madison Square Garden. They don't forgive, and they sure as hell don't forget. That's all I can say about that. So, but I will say this, though. Nice win for the Kings. These first 2 games have both been 5-star classics. There is no question about it. I mean, if we keep getting games like this for the rest of the series, this could end up being better than last year's series with the Boston Bruins and the Chicago Blackhawks. No question about it. I mean, What I just can't wrap my finger around, Mikey, is this: how our team can blow not one, not two, but three 2-goal leads in one game. 2-0, 3-1, 4-2, and they gag all of them, and we lose. But all is not lost. I still believe in this team. The emotional, cardiac Rangers, down 3-1 against Pittsburgh. Nobody thought they were going to do what they did, but look what they did. They did it. They came back. And then they beat an upstart Montreal Canadiens team. They're here in the finals for a reason. They believed. We believe. And we are. And starting tomorrow night, not only play like it's a Game 7, but play like you've never played before. And they will come to play. And they will come to play like they've never played before. They're going to have that home crowd behind them. They're going to have me behind them. They're going to have Fletch behind them. They're going to have Eric Peterson behind them. And a whole lot more. So all in all, let me just say it like this. I have no reason to believe that the New York Rangers cannot win Game 3 tomorrow night. They have to win Game 3 tomorrow night. Because if they go down 0-3, it's over. I will write them off, and I will say congratulations, Los Angeles Kings, on your second Stanley Cup in 3 years. But if the Rangers win, then we're right back in the series. So, with that said, nice win for the Kings. Thank the refs, because they gave you that one. That's all I can say. Series should at least be 1-1, not 2-0 for them. Nothing left to say, Fletch. Let's just wrap this up.
It's going to be a very, very rough Game 3. You already know that. Madison Square Garden's going to be a madhouse tomorrow night. Everybody knows it. New York's got to, they got to hold the lead and they got to win it. That's all that they got to do. And the thing is this. They got the opportunity. They got the firepower. They got the speed. They're matching will for will against the LA Kings. They've been dominating this series up to this point. The thing is that they let the Kings get back in the game, and they're making the mistakes that they're not supposed to make. And at the end of the day, Game 1, they flat out lost. There's no doubt about it. Last night, that wasn't a loss for the New York Rangers. They got robbed last night. And I think a lot of people have been saying that. And it's not just New York Ranger fans that's been flipping out. The conventional NHL fan has been saying, oh, the Rangers definitely got robbed in that game. There's no doubt about it. And I hope you're proud of yourselves, NHL and Gary Bettman, for that. So, we'll wait and see what happens. This is the moment you got to rise up. It's the Stanley Cup Finals. Nothing is given. You got to earn it. New York, you got to get better. Kreider, Rick Nash, you got to show up. Rick Nash, you've been MIA since the Eastern Conference Finals. Where you at? That's somebody that needs to get back in it. Carl Hagelin, where you been in this series so far? You've been MIA for the most part, at least points-wise. They got to step up and they got to represent, or else this is going to be a short series, and it's going to end. At the end of the day, New York's got to step it up, and they got to play hard, and they're going to be playing. And not only that, but they got some motivation tomorrow night. Being back in Madison Square Garden, that crowd's going to be amped up. They're going to be ready to go. You got to follow that intensity, that firepower, whatever the case may be. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Tomorrow night, immediately following the game, Anthony Florio and myself and a very special guest, I'm not going to say who it is yet, but a special guest will join us for the Ranger Roundup. We're recapping Game 3. Then, immediately following that, we're going to do the Wrestling Forum live right here on YouTube.com, and we're going to go from there. So, with that said, for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. So long for now. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Ranger recap for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. So long, everybody.